heavy security of standalone branches. They had fewer guards, more exits, and a constant flow of people that made a man in a fishing hat invisible. Duncan, along with Detective Joe Schley and FBI agent C.J. Freihofer, formed a task force. They tracked the escalating violence of the notes. 35 robberies, 6 states, $136,000 in cash. The break finally came in Lexington, Kentucky. A surveillance camera caught a grainy image of a black BMW speeding away from a major grocery store. In the passenger seat, they saw a flash of blonde hair. IBM wasn't working alone. He's listening to us, Duncan realized with a chill. He's got a scanner. He's parked in the lot, monitoring our frequencies, waiting for the all clear or the first siren. Duncan launched Operation Intercept. He flooded the interstates with 1,200 officers. He put undercover detectives in teller windows, their hands on their service weapons while they waited to be robbed. He wanted to catch the bandit in the act of returning to his safe zone in Indiana. On September 6, 2003, the trap was set. Brankel hit a U.S. bank in Louisville, exactly as predicted. Operation Intercept. A sergeant shouted over the radio. Duncan closed his eyes in frustration. The sergeant hadn't been discreet. "You're blowing it," Duncan whispered. He's hearing every word. The bandit vanished. He avoided the interstates, taking back roads and farm paths that only a local would know. The net was cast, but the IBM bandit had already slipped through the mesh. Chapter 8. The Dual Life of David Brankel. David Brankel was a man of two worlds, and he kept them separated with the precision of a surgeon. In Vincennes, Indiana, he was the devoted family man. He lived in a respectable rented house with his wife and young son, Michael. To his neighbors, he was a successful consultant for the Great Escape Project, a massive family entertainment complex planned by Alan and Becky Logan. He was God's gift to us, Becky said. Brankel had showed up with professional binders, complex marketing materials, and a sense of urgent professionalism. He took a $3,500 retainer and $500 a month. He even brought little Michael to the meetings, using the child as a prop to reinforce his image as a stable, trustworthy father. But from Thursday to Saturday, the family man vanished. He would drive his black BMW, a car bought with stolen money, to Bloomington. There, he became the high-rolling boyfriend of Donna Hewins, a waitress at a local club. Donna was the blonde in the getaway car. She was his Bonnie. Brankel told her the truth one night. "What would you think of me if I told you this is what I do for a living?" he asked, pointing at a movie screen showing a heist. "I would still love you," she had whispered. From that moment, she was part of the architecture. She scouted the banks, checking for cameras and guards. She sat in the idling BMW while David walked inside with his notes and his boonie hat. Brankel wasn't just robbing banks for the money, he was robbing them for the ego. He wanted to be the most successful bank robber in the Midwest because his mother had always told him he was a failure. Every heist was a middle finger to a childhood of inadequacy. He was a sociopath with absolutely no conscience, taking from those who trusted him and giving nothing back but lies. Chapter 9: The High-Speed Collapse. The end of the IBM Bandit didn't come from a grand FBI raid or a clever sting. It came from a moment of reckless driving. In December 2003, Detective Kevin Hill was driving down Highway 45 in Bloomington when a black BMW roared past him, nearly forcing him into a ditch. Hill, an off-duty cop with a short fuse for reckless drivers, flipped his lights. The driver, impeccably dressed as always, handed over a license, but the plates came back stolen. "Show me your hands," Hill commanded, his hand on his weapon. The driver showed his left hand. His right stayed tucked below his leg. "Show me both hands. Now, we're okay," Brankel said, a chilling smile on his face. Then he slammed the car into drive and floored it. The chase hit speeds of 110 miles per hour. Brankel drove with a terrifying disregard for human life, weaving through traffic and running stop signs. He managed to lose Hill in the dust, but in his haste, he had left his Indiana driver's license in the detective's hand. The mask was finally, irrevocably off. A few days later, the Indiana State Police tracked the BMW to a house in Vincennes. Brankel tried to run one last time, leading Trooper John Trotter on a foot chase through an apartment complex. Brankel, now 46 and out of shape, tripped on a curb and tumbled into the mud. A small knife fell from his pocket. It just fell out. Brankel stammered as the handcuffs clicked shut. "I wasn't going to stab you." In the car, they found his young son, Michael, abandoned in the back seat. In the trunk, they found the tools of his trade, the boonie hats, the fake mustaches, the 9mm handgun, and suitcases filled with the records of 43 successful robberies. When Larry Duncan got the call, he didn't even have to ask the name. Larry, the officer on the other end, said, "We've got your ghost." Chapter 10: The Restitution of Shadows. David Brankel talked for 6 hours straight. He was proud of his work, detailing each of the 43 robberies with the precision of an accountant. He shook Detective Duncan's hand like they were partners. The first one was a Union Federal, he said, his voice recorded for history. He blamed his wife, his mistress, and mostly his mother. He was sentenced to 21 years in federal prison. Donna Hewins, the girl who would still love him, received house arrest and probation. Brankel was ordered to pay $175,000 in restitution, but not a dime of it ever made its way to the Logans or the Sperrys. He wasn't charged for the lives he ruined through fraud, only the banks he robbed through force. If he had used that intelligence for good, Phil Sperry mused, he could have built skyscrapers instead of shadows. Epilogue: The Cost of the Con. Gerald Barnbaum and David Brankel are two sides of the same counterfeit coin. They represent the dark side of the American spirit, the